Hi, this is Rahim Zulfikar Ali from Excel Basement Private Limited. In this video tutorial, we will learn some good tips and tricks about name ranges in Microsoft Excel. So let's get started. As you know, as an Excel user, you know that every cell has a name, has its own address. So for example, currently I am actively on cell D3, right? So this is the address of a cell where I am presently active on this current spreadsheet. So for example, if I want to change the name of this cell address, it's very simple. I have to go to this name box and I have to type a new name which I want to give, and I will press enter key. So whenever I will return back to D3, now the name box is showing, instead of D3 it shows a name that is called Rahim, right? So what I did is I changed the name of this current cell address, and this is the one cell address name we have changed. We can also do with an array or a range or a group of cells. So for example, if I select an array and I want to give this particular array a name, so I will again go to this name box and for example I will type finance. So I have given this name range as a finance in my this current spreadsheet, right? So you can give many names as you want, and there is no limitation to it, but the names could not be the duplicate, and in the name ranges you are not allowed to include the space. So for example, if I want to give this name range a name which is called Rahim Ali, so I cannot add a space in this name range because Excel will give me a warning that you must enter a valid reference you want to go to or type a valid name for the selection. So either you can type Rahim Ali together, or you can also do Rahim underscore Ali. Okay, so as soon as you give many name ranges to your spreadsheet, all these name ranges are stored, and you can also use them in the formulas or function later on. So if we go to the formulas tab here, and when you click on name manager, so whatever all the name ranges you have created will be listed here on this dialog window of name manager. So from here, from this window, if you want to rename any name range or you want to edit the location, you can do it, and also you can delete the name ranges if you would like to. So okay, so there is one possible way of recalling the name ranges is very easy. That for example, you created 10, 12 or 15 name ranges on your spreadsheet, and if you want to use them in your formulas or function, so or you want to reach that particular name range, so you have to go to name box and click on this drop down, and when you click on it, all the name ranges will be available on your spreadsheet. It will be listed down here. So whenever you click on any of the name range, Excel will let you to that current name range area, right? This is the one way of accessing the name ranges. The other way is, already I told you that you can go to the formulas tab and click on name manager, and where you will find all the name ranges, and you can add it, delete or create a new one. This is the second way of accessing all your name ranges within this workbook. The third way is, there is a shortcut key which is called F3. okay, so when you press F3 function key F3, there will be a dialog window of paste name will appear, and what you can do is click on the paste list button. So when you click on paste list, Excel will give you all the name ranges names and their respective locations. So this is how, for example, if you are creating a financial model, or if you are creating an MIS report or any business reporting model, so whenever you create 20, 30, 40 name ranges, you want to have a list of that as well, so that you can use later on with the other functions. So it's a good practice to store a list in a separate sheet where you aware that what kind of name ranges are available. So this is one of the way. The shortcut key is F3, and you have to click on paste list, right? The fourth way of accessing the name ranges is that you know that whenever you open a spreadsheet, your spreadsheet is by default on 100% zoom, and when you go to this application interface, bottom right side, you will find a percentage and a zoom in and zoom out buttons as well. So when you click on zoom percentage, a zoom dialog window will appear here, and in the custom area, if you add a number below 40, it could be 39, it could be 38. So for example, if I write 39 here and I will press OK, so as soon as I enter 39, you can see that your spreadsheet is on 39% zoom, and in the advantage of making it below 40 is that the name ranges appears on the spreadsheet. So as you can see that finance and Naheem_Ali. So this is one of the good way of locating your name ranges. You can see with your naked eyes when you do zoom below 40. So this will appear, all the name ranges appear as a watermark, and you can see easily that what or which kind of a name range is appear on in which area on my spreadsheet as well. So this is one of the way of navigating and accessing your name ranges on this spreadsheet. So there were 4 ways of accessing the name ranges. One of the advantage is that, for example, if I write some numbers and I want to do a sum in the other area of the spreadsheet, or for example in a new sheet, so whenever I apply any kind of formula or a function, for example, if I want to do sum of these numbers, or if I am using VLOOKUP or any other thing, so let's say I have to go to the data source, I need to select that data, and then I need to close this parenthesis, and I will get the sum of all these numbers. But for example, if before applying any function, if I can make a name of this particular array, so for example, if I give a name of balances, right? So for example, now I will apply the sum function, and I know that I have given a name that is called balances. So as soon as I write some initials, you can see that this IntelliSense, there is a small icon of table and balances is written here. So this is our name range, and we can call it. So as soon as I press the tab key, the balances has been typed completely by Excel, and automatically that particular range has been selected. So I don't need to go to the data source every time and select the range and come back to the function. So it's very easy. When you create the name ranges, you don't have to go to the data source again and again for selecting from a different sheet or from a different array within that particular worksheet, right? For example, if I use average, so I can call balances. Now for example, if you forgot that name range you have given, so there is an easy way. You just need to press a shortcut key that is called F3. So when you press F3, a paste name window will appear, and from here you can just select the right name range which you want to be added in your function. So press OK, and you can see that the range has been selected automatically. Remember that all the name ranges which you create are by default absolute at the back end. So these are absolute references. All the name ranges are absolute. Now the last technique about the name ranges is that, for example, if I have a data, right, and I have a lot of columns in my data, and I want to create a name range for each of the column. So the first way of doing it, that for example, I will select the first column, entire column, and I will go to the name box and give it a neat and nice name, right? Then I will go to the second column, I will select the entire second column, and I will again go to the name box, or I will go to the name manager, and I will click new to give a name of this particular column. as a name range. Then I will select the third column, fourth column, and so on, and that will take a lot of time in doing it, because in my data source there are more than 15 or 20 columns, and that will take around 8 to 10 minutes. So what is the quickest way of giving each of the column name a separate as a name range within few seconds? So let me tell you that technique. What you are required to do is first select your entire data source. Okay, so select the entire data source or database, and in the formulas tab click on create from selection. So when you click on create from selection, this window is asking that this particular feature will give each of your column a name, but from where all those names could be picked. So we are saying to this create names from selection that give each of the column a separate name, and that name will be picked from the top row, because we know that every data source first row contains a titles. So each of the column will be assigned a name, and that name will be picked by a top row of this data source. So I have check mark on a top row. Okay, when I press OK, and when I go to name manager, so you can see that within a second all the columns have been assigned with a proper name, and this is how you have done this smart technique within 1 or 2 seconds. So whenever you have this kind of a requirement where you have a data source and you want to assign each of the column a separate name, you can use create from selection and the option of top row, where within a second, within 1 or 2 seconds, each of the column name will be assigned. And then you can use all these name ranges in your functions like sumifs, countifs, VLOOKUP, sum, and that could be very easy for you to don't go to the data source again and again, and that will give you an advantage. And one more way is that when you convert your data source, when you convert your database, basically when you convert your database into a table format, so whenever a new data will get append, your name ranges will get also updated automatically. So that's one more technique you need to consider, because at this point of time this data source is not being converted into a table. So for example, next week if more data will come, so you need to make sure that your name ranges could be updated. But if you convert this database into a table format, the converting this data source into a table format is very easy. Go to insert tab and click on table. So whenever your new data source will get append, your name ranges will update automatically, and you don't need to change anything in your functions or formulas. So I hope you like this video and all the techniques related to the name ranges. Thank you.